Hello and welcome to Comicstorian Weekly, the weekly show that we talk about comic books that came out this week. It's Andy and myself. Andy, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic, Dan. Thanks for asking.
All right, let's go ahead and jump on in, shall we? First up,
What if we fall down? Keep going. Sorry. Make myself laugh, and that's what's important.
That's all that. As long as someone's laughing,
It doesn't matter.
it's a successful joke. All right, so we're going to start off with something that I absolutely hated this week. Batman, Catwoman, number 2.
Oh, good. We didn't have to wait long to get to there. God, this book was awful.
Why?
Why? I will say it looks really nice. Clayman's art is fantastic.
Yes.
There's
I feel like,
no
actually,
other way to say that.
Before we go into a lot of this week's comics, a lot of them were the art made it okay.
Yeah.
But this one, so Batman, Catwoman, it's. I don't even
Please
remember
explain
what
to me
it
what's
was.
going on.
Yeah, I don't like. So I guess last time Bruce had died, and then Catwoman went to Joker in Florida to kill him. And then
Phantasm showed up. I know that.
Yes,
from the cartoon
we
movie.
About the other lady,
Andrea.
Yeah,
The Phantasm. She's the Phantasm.
Oh, that's
okay.
Yeah, they like go into that, and then in this one, they're just constantly thinking back and forth.
It's awful. The time jumps aren't even every page; they're like every other panel.
Yeah. And it's
the idea that the Joker would settle down in an old folks' home, I think, is ridiculous, and not in the fun Joker kind of way.
No.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I do not like it at all. I think it looks really nice. I was reading it, and the whole time I was reading it, I would just go, "What?"
Yeah. No, it's also so, in my opinion, poorly organized.
Yes,
that it's making it hard for me to go, well, this is what. Wait, did this happen, or was it
right?
Like,
I feel like Tom King wrote it and then dropped all the papers. And then picked it back up.
And then
it was just like, that was fine. And then he just sent it off to Claim It.
You know what? I would be more okay if that was actually
right.
what happened.
Yeah.
Like if that's what.
And he
actually
wrote them
happened,
all
I'd
on
be
like an old timey typewriter. That's how it happened. Because why else would there be actual physical papers?
Well, I mean,
obviously
he made them, printed them out.
Yeah, and then dropped them, put them back in a pile, scanned them, and then emailed them. Right? That makes perfect sense.
Exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It was actually the guy that opened it. It came out like all weird.
I do not like this book at all.
It's not
I know.
good.
I was not, obviously, this shouldn't come as a shock to anyone. I was not a fan of Tom King's Batman run in general. I know. I'm just as surprised as you. I do like Tom King's writing overall. There are a lot of his books I very much enjoy. His Batman was not one of them.
Tom King is truly a you love him or you hate him.
Kind of, yeah. And I
you
know
love
there are
his
tons of
story or you hate his story.
Right. I mean, I don't know the guy, he could be a jerk for all I know. He could be the nicest guy in the world. I know a lot of people did like Ben was a huge fan of his Batman run.
Yep.
But I don't know how you would like this book. It is not a very well written book.
And
the art is really good.
The art's really good. It even so far does not feel like one that even in trade form.
I can't imagine. I don't know. The first two issues have not been good.
We'll find out where it goes. Because, I mean, at least this one looked like it might be going in a direction where it at least might pick up.
Maybe.
But buy it at your own risk.
Yeah.
Next up is one that I actually would recommend getting. DCeased Dead Planet number 7.
Yes. So this was the end.
Oh,
this last
so
issue.
Good
issue.
A
lot of cool stuff happens.
If you like Tom Taylor violence, this is the issue for you.
A lot of heartfelt moments.
Yes.
Really touched me in the feels.
This was just a great wrap-up issue, as well as give you those moments like that you're just like, I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed the moment of all of the villains telling the guards to fire on Superman, and all of them going, I'm not fighting Superman.
Which is realistically, one, if they're any kind of a good person, the idea of firing at Superman in and of it's like, this boy is supposed to be the symbol of hope. No, I'm not going to shoot at Superman. And two, like, even from just a practical standpoint, it ain't gonna go well.
Well, they're even like,
that's like telling you to shoot Batman. Like, nah, I'm good.
Because they're like, we invested in kryptonite infused stuff or whatever, and they're like, yeah, but it's Superman.
It's Superman.
And then later he's like, I appreciate your work and not shooting me.
That was a good like John kind of taking over father kind of moment.
I thought that's actually a great point, because I feel like a lot of moments in this felt like the children fully stepping into the roles.
Yeah.
And like, no longer was it, how do I be like my dad? It was, no, I'm Superman.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're Superman.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of leftover questions.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, that I'm not. I don't know if they're planning on doing another DCeased, but like, you still got Superman eating the sun, technically.
Yep.
A blighted Superman eating the sun. Isn't Darkseid technically still running around on New Genesis blighted?
Let's be honest.
I don't remember them touching on it again.
Tom Taylor and pretty much everyone over there now, when they have one successful story and they get sequels, they have to leave
some stuff. Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, because Dark Metal. Dark Knight's Death Metal, all that stuff.
But yeah, because I was like, afterwards, I was like, well, they didn't touch on the fact that technically you still have a blighted Superman in the sun. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they did. I could be wrong.
I don't recall.
I don't remember them going back to the fact that Darkseid showed up on New Genesis.
Yeah, and then that was it.
That was it. But yeah.
Hey, great issue.
It was a good issue.
Either way, it wrapped up I think it wrapped up well, because it wrapped it up enough that you're like, this is a good story.
Yeah.
But it left enough open.
But it left enough you could keep going with it. Because now they could do
DCeased Apocalypse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, that, and you could just do the world trying to rebuild at this point.
Taylor and DCeased Apocalypse.
You could just do the world trying to rebuild at this point, because obviously you have a smaller population. They destroyed the internet entirely, so it's not like you just plug it right back in.
Exactly. You now have everyone is back to normal.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind, in a way, it would be kind of like Endgame, where everyone comes back and they're like trying to figure out how to
and you got a lot smaller group of superheroes now trying to help the world.
It'd be a great new almost like a new start to an Earth 2 style.
Kind of, yeah.
Which I think would be great.
I think it would be cool. I think he could do a lot of interesting stuff if they kept going with this universe. Even if they didn't keep doing zombies, which obviously you still have Blighted Superman and Darkseid and all that stuff. But even if they didn't go and just sticking with the zombie route, I think you could do a lot of interesting stuff with this this universe.
There's a lot of potential, and I hope they don't.
I hope they do something else with it.
Well,
I hope they keep
we've
going.
got the Omniverse, where literally every universe is in existence.
I'm also glad they saved Ollie. I'm glad they saved Ollie.
There were a couple people. Yeah. Okay, I could have sworn that they locked Pa Kent in the basement.
They did,
and shot him.
No, so Superman, he heat visioned the door, but they never specified if he heat visioned him through the door, or I think he just burned the lock.
Okay, because
when they melted it so like he couldn't get out.
When they showed him, I was like,
wait, didn't he heat vision him?
Didn't they? Didn't he literally kill him? So that
I'm glad they didn't, because they had that moment and they was like, "Hey, Grandpa," and I was like, "Oh God."
Oh yeah, because it wasn't.
Yeah, because it was John. It wasn't even Superman. It wasn't even Clark. It was John who went and got him.
They made him look so much like Clark.
By the end, at the beginning, he still seemed very young.
Yeah.
But by the end, it looked like he was Clark.
He looked like he was Clark, but when you looked at it, you still would go, but it's not.
Yeah.
And I love that. Anyway, on to the next one. Future State Catwoman #1. I
actually thought this one was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's sticking with the police state of Gotham. Yep. Magistrate's taken over. And Catwoman is trying to free kids who are being sent to a reform camp by the magistrate. So, I mean,
which
to
is
me,
very Catwoman.
It is very Catwoman.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good use of the character in this idea of this fascist police state. So,
yeah.
Well, I thought the art was pretty good too.
Was it this one that they gave her the cool suit?
Yeah, they gave her the cool suit that has like the magnets, and she was like sticking on stuff.
It honestly looks like Catwoman Beyond.
Yes, which is what this... that is still my #1 complaint with Future State as a whole, is there's not a lot of future in Future State.
Yeah. Have you seen the timeline?
No, I haven't even seen it, no.
There's an actual timeline. I should see if I could find it, because it's like some of them are 5 years, 50 years, 6,000 years.
Yeah, it's
the literal end of time. Yeah. But
it's not a great event overall. But I thought this was a pretty good one. I think so far
upper middle.
Yeah. I would say so far the most interesting ones to me are the ones that have to do with the fascist Gotham, when it actually seems like it's in the future.
Yes.
And then there's
No,
other
and
ones.
it seems like it's like, hey, tomorrow.
Yeah,
by the way.
exactly. And then Bruce is all confused that everything turned into cyberpunk for some reason. Anyway, I have some grievances. But overall, I enjoyed this book as a whole.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, we have Future State Immortal Wonder Woman #1. So first off, before we go into the story, the art is amazing.
The art is very good on this.
The art is probably one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
I don't even know who did it, actually.
I had to look them up because I was like, this is amazing. Jen Bartel.
Okay. Yes, very good
well
art.
done.
Very good art.
But yeah, so this one, not much happens. I think this one was very, very heavily a set up issue because the Immortal Wonder Woman is supposed to take place literally at the end of time. In the timeline, that's where it is. It's literally the end of everything.
It doesn't seem like it. That's the thing. It seems like it could be any normal Wonder Woman story.
And they started off in a really weird way too, because they just go, she's in the cave, like getting the bat belt, which they explain why she has the bat belt, and it literally says impossibly long ago in the distant future.
Yeah,
I was like,
was it Star Wars?
That's my first thought was that. I was like, wait a second. But yeah, no, I think it's just straight up setting something up for the next round, and I hope it goes somewhere.
Yeah.
Because with this art, I want it to go somewhere.
It just seems like, I understand the point of these is supposed to be like an alternate future that could happen, but this just seems like a normal Wonder Woman story that they put some slight future stuff on.
This seems like a normal Wonder Woman story that they had to make it very clear that no one else was alive.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can really think of it, because
at first I thought it was like, it seemed like almost like a continuation of the Dying Earth Wonder Woman book.
Yeah.
Which I thought it would have been a cool idea, but they didn't do that. But
did this one have this one had a backup story with
Nubia, the other Wonder Woman, the Black Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but it's not.
Which
the
apparently
same
it's
as
not
Yana or Yara.
No, because that's the Brazilian Wonder Woman.
I know. That's why I was like,
no. So Nubia actually it's not a new character. She has appeared in Wonder Woman comics before. I think it was in the 70s. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Do not quote me or at me because I don't respond, so I won't care. I want to say she showed up in the 70s. It was kind of one of those weird Silver Age kind of things where I think she was supposed to be like a half sister or something along those lines.
Right.
I can't remember. I don't know the full history of the character.
Okay. But it is an existing character.
It is an existing character that I think just kind of disappeared.
Okay.
For the longest time. And I think she even offhandedly mentions how she's not welcome on the island anymore.
It makes sense because
something along those lines.
In the story where they learn about Yara. Yeah. Or in one of the previous ones, they do explain that there is another tribe.
Yes. Because technically, I think there's 3 or 4 tribes of Amazons.
There's 3.
Because Artemis is from one in Egypt.
Yeah, so there was that one. There was the Themyscira, and then the hidden one, which was the Brazilian one, which we just found out.
The backup story itself isn't bad. It's kind of it seems like it almost seems like they're trying to set her up to be her own book.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't make any sense because this is supposed to be the future. We won't get into that. But it seems almost like an origin story because she shows up as Wonder Woman and states very plainly that she is Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Fights, I forget who she fights in the book. It's just like a one-off villain. It's not like a huge villain. It's not like she takes on Cheetah or anything like that.
Right.
And then she goes and she talks to her aunt in a club, and it kind of gives like her backstory. So it seems like they're going to be like this. We're going to do more with Nubia. She's going to be like a different Wonder Woman. But once again, it's supposed to be in the future, so it doesn't make any sense if they have her in the present.
Yeah.
But the actual backup isn't bad.
Yeah. But I mean, Immortal Wonder Woman.
It just seems like a normal Wonder Woman story to me.
So
there's very little future.
Yeah. Like if you want a good Wonder Woman story.
Yeah, it's not a bad Wonder Woman story.
Enjoy it, but in terms of future state, it doesn't fully seem like it
very fits. Good. Yeah.
Okay, so next up we've got Future State Nightwing #1. So this is very clearly before Teen Titans,
I would assume,
since he's still actual Nightwing and not Deathstroke Nightwing.
And basically, this one is Batman has died, even though we know he didn't. But Batman has died. And Nightwing has started the Gotham Resistance to fight against the Magistrate.
Yep, and they're trying to...
And they're tracking him, basically.
Track him.
Yeah,
and then we do have... I did like that they include the new Batman.
Yes.
I did like that. I liked that they also don't have him give away his identity in this one,
right,
so that you can still read the other one.
Yes, and kind of go, who the hell is he?
Exactly.
Yeah. Even though they do reveal his face in the newest issue, next Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm glad they didn't in this one, so that you could go, who is that? Go to the next Batman and go, oh, okay. Now I know.
I got it.
Yeah, no, I actually like this.
This was a pretty good Nightwing story. This one seemed more like futuristic-ish.
This seemed very much like they kept true to how I would expect Nightwing to progress in this kind of environment without Batman under the impression that Batman's been killed.
Right, yeah.
Because he's still trying to hold back, but at the same time, when it's needed, he has no problem cracking heads, essentially.
Yeah. I do like his interactions with the new Batman. I thought that was fun, where he's like, he broke free a lot quicker than I anticipated. Yeah. But he's kind of like testing him at the same time. I thought that was fun.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one. I think this one's got a lot of good potential.
Yeah. Like I said, to me, the most future ones seem to be the fascist Gotham ones, if in certain books anyway.
Yeah.
Not always in all of them.
All right, so next up we have Future State Shazam #1.
Now, you said you liked this one a lot.
So I actually did enjoy this one, because this one, all the other ones were kind of, this is just the future, what's happening in the future, but this is more of they changed a little bit of Shazam's background. Did you read this one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So they changed a little bit of Shazam's background, and in this one, we just constantly have everyone questioning Shazam, because Shazam's acting weird. Like, people start dying, and they're like, is it Shazam? And we learn...
And he keeps saying, don't call me Billy.
They're saying, don't call me Billy. And, like, they did something very interesting to Shazam that is going... I like it because we have almost unhinged a very, very powerful character who is often... borderline good, bad, and you've seen what happens when he goes bad, because it's Black Adam. And we've also... They've added so many different plot possibilities with everyone wanting to potentially get Billy. I won't exactly explain that fully, because that is a big spoiler.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But they there's stuff with Billy, there's stuff with Shazam, there's stuff with the power of the magic gate, and there's so many different possibilities that this one, honestly... I don't think it needed to be a future state. I think this just needed to be the new Shazam. That was my only real complaint with it. It wasn't a bad story.
Yeah. It literally just could have been a normal Shazam book.
Oh, I didn't even read this. In a story set years after the events of Future State Teen Titans.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is why it's so freaking confusing. Because this could have just been a normal Shazam story.
Yeah.
It literally had, it didn't need to be under Future State. It didn't need to be under anything. It literally is just a normal Shazam story.
Yeah.
And it actually takes place after Future State, even though it's a Future State.
It's like after Future State, but before Future State.
I'm just going to take a nap. When we're done with Future State.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up the timeline, so that
is
I can
so
show
freaking
you.
confusing for this event.
I'll look it up as well while we go through the next one.
Yes, not a bad book. Not a bad story.
I think it's worth picking up.
Should have just, if you're a Shazam fan, it's solid. It should have just been the next Shazam storyline. Because it's actually a really interesting idea that I don't think they've really touched on.
I've never seen this
I don't fully
happen.
know Shazam history or Captain Marvel before Shazam history. I like his portrayal in a lot of things. Obviously, the movie's fantastic. He's really cool in Kingdom Come when he shows up in that. But yeah, so if they've done this type of story before, I don't know about it.
All right, I've got the timeline that I'll run you guys
show me
through
afterwards,
because
it's confusing.
God. Next up, we've got Future State Superman Worlds of War. Guess where he is.
Once again, this could have just been a normal Superman story.
Yeah.
It's got people talking about what Superman did to change lives and save them, blah, 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 blah. How some people see him as God, how some people don't, a lot. And then turns out Superman's lost on War World, spoiler alert, without his powers. Other than the fact that he's got some gray hairs and a ponytail, like the 90s, could have been a normal Superman story.
I feel like
they do mention when Metropolis was bottled.
Yes.
by John.
Yes, they even say
They do mention that. So at least that puts this in that sort of future when John takes over as Superman, and apparently very badly. Sorry, you could go ahead. I interrupted. I apologize.
No, you're good.
I apologize.
But I feel like Future State I feel like they should have just named it 5G and then just gone into Infinite Frontier. Because I feel like with the name Future State, we all go in with the
idea it's going to be like Batman Beyond or something like that. Like, and that's where it's
Spider-Man
all
2099.
something
like
exact
that kind of futurist.
That's what I wanted.
Yes.
I wanted like 2099 is actually a very good way to look at it. That's what I wanted. I wanted the 2099 of the DC universe, which essentially is Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting. That's what I wanted. This whole, some of them are 2 months in the future, some of them are thousands of years in the future thing.
I'm so excited to go through this list.
I feel like that was where they screwed up, in my opinion.
Next up is the last of the Future States this week. Future State, The Next Batman, number 2. So this one, I'm not a big fan of how many of these stories are like, hey, let's just fit 6 in this. We'll put Batman, we'll put Spoiler and Cassandra Cain.
Oh yeah.
Because it keeps
the backups,
throwing me off. And this one is
this one's got 3 backups or 2 backups.
63 pages.
Yeah. It's like a graphic novel. So the initial story is obviously the new Batman, who they reveal his face, but it's shadowed, so I don't know if you know fully who it is. Although the DC has put out who it is. It's Tim Fox.
It's the brother of Luke Fox.
The one the black sheep of the family, who I think was
racist.
Well, the white sheep of the family?
That's a little racist.
It seems like he had like a bad past and like left for the army or something like that, but then eventually came back, but wasn't with the family sort of thing. I don't know fully. He had after
Uncle Aaron. It's like Miles is.
Kind of. Yeah, actually.
Like, but he actually becomes like him, but
he's still there. And it's fine. Yeah. And he doesn't become a villain
yet.
So it's, to me, this is a good idea. Is Batman has died, and somebody else has taken up the mantle of the Bat, who's not normally part of the Bat family. It's not Luke Fox. It's not Nightwing. It's none of those people. So it's him trying to be Batman, but he doesn't quite have all the stuff Batman did.
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea.
I do think, though, because of how disconnected he is from
the Bat family,
and the Bat family and all of that, I feel like I think I might have liked this a little more if he had started out not as Batman, but like dressed as someone trying to do something and people thinking he was Batman and then him taking...
Well, that's the other problem with this. There's no origin story for him. The first issue had him as Batman.
Yeah.
And some people call him, he's like, some people call me Batman. Well, yeah, because you dress like Batman and you have a bat symbol on your chest.
Yeah. Like, what do you think?
What do you think they're going to call you? Even though Batman's also still technically running around in tactical gear.
But he's a dark detective.
Yeah, right. Sorry. But it's an interesting idea. It's similar to Batman Beyond in the sense that somebody else takes over as Batman, who's not fully prepped Batman, doesn't have all the training Batman had, except this one he doesn't have an old man Bruce talking in his ear.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea.
Got some Russian guy.
Yeah, some Russian guy or girl. We don't actually know yet.
They're definitely Russian.
But they're definitely Russian because they say stuff in Russian. Yes. Like da.
Yeah.
Which is yes in Russian. But you know what I'm saying?
Russian lesson.
I'm like multilingual. I can say yes in several languages. Can't say no in most of them, but I can say yes.
Luckily, no is no in most languages.
Yeah, that's true. So it's an interesting idea that they're not doing a whole lot with because he's just kind of solving some like street murders.
I wish we got an origin.
So, yeah, exactly, an origin story.
Like, or if we don't get it the next issue, I'm gonna be like he does have interaction with Nightwing, which is good, but realistically, Nightwing should have hunted this guy down. Like, hey, why are you dressed as Batman? Yeah.
Like, and then he's like, hey, dude. Bruce? Damien? Damien?
It's the classic, like, Bruce! Did he look?
Did he look? Once again, it's an interesting idea. I feel like they're just not doing enough with. They're not doing anything with.
But I did kind of enjoy the in Arkham with Spoiler, who has been like undercover the whole time, and
Right.
Cassandra Cain.
Yes, that was really
kinda
cool. That was a cool idea. It's not
And
Arkham;
'cause-
it's the Magistrate Detention Facility,
Yeah. It's
which is essentially Arkham because it's got all the Arkham inmates in it.
exactly.
That was interesting, but also goes against the Robin book where Spoiler shows back up and is like, "Oh, I decided to become a civilian." I know it
wish
pops up in the timeline. I know.
I wish the timeline made that make sense, but unfortunately,
It doesn't. Damn it.
But yeah, no,
That was a good, interesting book. Cassandra going to the prison to find their contact, and now they believe Bruce is in there. Turns out it's not. Big spoiler.
no. They don't know who's in there. They just think someone.
Well, they think she thinks it's Bruce. She says it in the book because the message was like the Batman lives. So she's like,
okay,
if it's Bruce, we have to get him out. That's what she says to Stephanie. But it's not Bruce. I don't want to say who it is, but.
It was a good twist.
It was a good twist. Yeah, that was a good story. The next backup, which is the Gotham City Sirens, doesn't make any sense. It's completely out of tone with the normal Catwoman book.
Okay, that was the Catwoman,
Poison Ivy, and A Night on the Town with an android.
We're not making this up, folks.
And that in and of itself isn't a bad idea, but it doesn't seem to fall in line with any of the other.
It didn't fall in line with any of the other
Gotham
stuff, and it did not really in any way make me go, "Oh, I'm interested to see where this goes."
And it also didn't seem like Selena.
No.
Like the two Selenas from the Catwoman individual book and this one.
It seemed like they grabbed Harley Quinn and put her in
Kinda,
Catwoman role.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let me go through the timeline real quick.
Okay,
just so
hit me.
people know. So in 2025, we've got the Arkham Knights, Batgirls, Batman, Superman, Batman, Catwoman, Gotham City Sirens.
Okay, so
Harley
most
Quinn.
of the police fashion state
Yes.
Gotham is only supposed to be 5 years in the future.
It seems like if it's police state Gotham, that's what starts the rest of future state.
Okay.
So
all
in
right.
2027, and that actually makes it a lot more sense too. Dark Detective. He's been dead for 2 years. It's been 2 years since this police state has started, since Dark Detective starts. So I guess
okay. So it's been like 2 years and Batman is only now shot?
I think they're implying that he was shot, then everything happened, and now he's coming back.
Okay.
Which makes a little more sense. They just
It does.
must have missed a
Unless
bit there.
when is Catwoman supposed to take place? Because if you look at the back.
That was in 2025.
Okay, then it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the twist at the end of Catwoman, that doesn't make any sense.
So we've got 2027 is Dark Detective,
Okay.
The Flash, Teen Titans. 2029 is Shazam. 2030.
Wait, okay. The only way that would work, the 2025 and 2027, is if Bruce has been freed at that time. But no, he's acting like he just got shot. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Maybe.
All right, hit me.
Maybe he actually is in Arkham, and the twist is actually another person that is still in there, and they don't actually find him until 2 years later, and then that's when he comes back for Dark Detective. Anyway, speculation.
All right, yeah.
2030 is Aquaman, Black Racer, Justice League Dark, Metropolis, Midnighter, Mr. Miracle, Suicide Squad, Superman of Metropolis, Superman Worlds of War, and Nubia. 2035 is The Last Lantern. 2040 is Justice League. 2050 is Kara Zor-El, Superwoman, Yara, Floor.
Yeah, Floor.
And
I
Superman
believe it's just pronounced
versus
Floor.
Imperious Lex. 2070 is Superman, Wonder Woman. Okay, that also explains a little bit there. 3000 is House of L and Legion of Superheroes. 4500 is Swamp Thing.
That makes sense since everybody's dead in Swamp Thing.
82,020 is Black Adam.
And I didn't know Black Adam was getting his own book.
I didn't either, but
cool.
I'm
All
okay
right.
with that.
But that's an interesting one.
That'll be
I thought I
very
want to read. Yeah.
interesting. And then the end of time is Immortal Wonder Woman.
Okay. So with the timeline, it at least makes a little bit more sense.
Some of them make more sense, but
Some
why
of
was
them
that
are
not in the front of all the future
They
states?
should have 100% been in the front of all the books. 100%. That should have been the first page. It should have been like, hey, everybody, this is where everything lines up.
Here.
You are here. Perfect.
That's all I need.
You give me the full thing, and every single issue has a "you are here." Perfect idea. It still doesn't. The Batman books are actually more jumbled if you think about it that way. But okay, sure. No, I'm with
Anyway.
it. That does help, though.
It does help a little bit.
That does help.
Some of
Yeah.
it makes a little more sense, as well as some of it makes sense that, like, the Justice League interactions and the
Right.
Superman, Superwoman, or Wonder Woman reactions are different
because they're different years.
So anyway,
That does make more sense. You Are Here would have helped.
it would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
DC, shit together.
Usually they're pretty good. Like
usually
death
they
metal, they
are.
put everything out in such a good order that it makes.
Usually they.
I'm surprised they did this so jumbled.
Okay, so moving on to the
Yes.
Marvel side of comics that came out this week.
There's
We're
like
starting
4 of
off
them.
with Avengers number 41. So this is part 2, I believe.
Yes.
Of Enter the Phoenix, where everyone
They're all in
is
the Phoenix.
in the Phoenix.
Metaphysically?
But then like getting teleported either out into the real world or into
For
a
trial by
version.
combat.
Yeah. And
My favorite was Shang-Chi versus
Hyperion.
Hyperion. Hilarious.
Hyperion, my favorite part of that was he's like, all this power, all this knowledge. No, I can't be this open-minded.
And then Shang-Chi's just sitting there like, hilarious.
It was
An
there
okay
was
book.
social commentary in that little
There a
bit.
little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Um,
Also with Wakanda or Black Panther and Nighthawk as well. There's a little bit of social
a lot.
commentary.
Yes, this
And by that I mean the entire conversation
the
was social
entire
conversation.
because they're yeah, you got to read.
You
it.
got to read it. Yeah.
This one I actually am enjoying a little bit though.
it wasn't
good.
bad. Yeah.
It's good because you don't need to know anything. Right now, Enter the
Realistically,
Phoenix,
no.
like they don't even
Yeah.
have just the Avengers. They have a bunch of other
Yeah,
people.
yeah, they have a lot of
It's
other people in there.
literally just if you want to see people fight to see who can be the next
Phoenix. My only issue with this, and this is just a personal thing,
got
is
Man-Thing, Phoenix.
No, not that.
What you're saying? You don't want Man-Thing Phoenix?
That would be hilarious. I'm a little over the Phoenix. I feel like the Phoenix shows up every anytime there's a new editor, they're like, screw it. Or new writers, they're like, let's throw it in the Phoenix again.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a little over the Phoenix. That's my only issue. That's a personal issue. The actual issue itself is very good.
Right.
I said issue too many times. It's very good. It's still Jason Aaron, who
Yep.
I'm a big fan of. I think he writes a
Great
really
writer.
good epic comic. It's just me personally. I'm a little over the Phoenix. Yeah.
I am hoping that the point of this is to solidify the Phoenix. Essentially,
Make it one solid person again.
My hope
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that this will conclude with someone absorbing the Phoenix,
Right, yeah.
and now that's the Phoenix.
Well, for the
It's
longest
no
time, that
longer a
was,
force, because it was Jean Grey.
Well, for the longest time,
And
it
then
was
Hope
Jean,
and-
and then it was Rachel Summers was supposedly the best host.
Yep.
She didn't fight it as much as
I think Quentin
Jean.
Quire became
Yeah,
the host
so
at one point.
yeah, that'd be if we just have like a Phoenix again.
Because I
That'd be
think they're
fine,
also. I think the other purpose of this is to go. We're not giving it to a mutant. They have enough stuff. Let's remove the Phoenix Force from the X-Men so that we can do something normal.
Right.
I did love the part where Wolverine just goes, all right, who am I going to have to stab, though?
Yeah, it's all I need to know. I do like when Namor was just like, I'm going to kick everybody's ass. He just does that in every book he shows up in now.
He does.
I'm
He
going to
does.
kick everybody.
It's
I don't even
class-
care anymore.
Who else but Namor?
Ah.
All right, so next up we have, I believe, the only King in Black tie-in, Black Cat number 2.
Yes.
This is... It's a new series, but it is related to that previous 6-issue Black Cat story where she steals a lot from a bunch of people, because she even says in this, I stole from Doctor Strange, I stole from Tony Stark and the Fantastic Four. And I think all of that entire thing was to go, she can steal a lot of stuff, because in this one, Captain America asks her to steal Doctor Strange from Null.
Right.
And
As you do.
it was actually kind of awesome because they have like these little orbs that give them an anti-venom suit for like 5 minutes. So we get anti-venom Black Cat for a minute, and it looked really sweet.
That's cool.
But this entire issue is just they're trying to get Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That is the plot of what's going on over here. Whether or not it's going to be insanely important, we won't know until later. So I did enjoy it. I have actually been enjoying the Black Cat stuff. I don't like the font still, but besides that, everything else is pretty great about it.
I want to see you like one of these days, like you have the physical book. You're like, what is this trash? Throw it across the room.
Font, bubble colors, and misspelling or double words.
Sure, yeah. That happens. Yeah.
Where you see that they said a word and then they have the exact, and you're like, they definitely did not say, I'm gonna go do this.
Or did they? You don't know how Captain America talks. I'm gonna throw my shield at him. It'd be funny if that was like his thing. Oh. He always says gonna.
Anyway, next up we have Cable number 7. So the Cable story is they're going into kidnappings. So Cable's little side stuff is he was kidnapped as a child. Ex-babies, that's what I'm going to call them. Ex-babies are being kidnapped, and he is trying to figure out where they're being kidnapped from because they're being kidnapped by a mutant worshipping cult.
Sure.
And in this one, the twist is revealed who's behind the cult. I don't want to spoil it, but it's actually going to make this an amazing comic, I think.
Okay.
I think that this is going to be I don't want to spoil it, but it's classic Cable stuff, but not classic Cable stuff that we've seen since he became a kid again.
Okay.
And when you read it, I'll tell you later. Actually, you know what? I'll spoil it for you with just the panel because I did.
That'll work. And then I'll say it.
Exactly.
That way I spoil it because screw you people.
So that's the villain that we've got.
Oh.
Yeah, see? It's going to be interesting to see where it goes because of that. Yeah. And because they're not only is it related to him, but like the way that it's related and the way that his character works will add a lot of
I can see that.
intrigue to it. So Cable number 7, if you like Cable, if you like the kind of stuff that he's doing, he is working with Rachel every now and then. Rachel. Yeah. So it's fun. I actually did enjoy it. I thought it was a very solid story. I like it because of the fact that Cable has now entered the realm of you don't really need to be reading the other X-Men stuff.
Right, yeah.
Which I believe it starts at Cable number 6. Cable 1 through 5 is the lead up, which is related to the X of Swords.
Yeah.
Next up,
there wasn't a lot of Marvel this week.
Actually, before we get to King in Black, one that Benny didn't notice, Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon number 1.
I didn't see that.
So if you guys remember, it's funny I read this because I haven't read one in a long time. The last one I read was with like the old man that makes the machine, and he goes in and he's broken his hands and he has to like regain powers.
Yeah.
And this one, it keeps those characters around. It has the like little girl who is also a super awesome fighter. It's got the baby dragon from Kunlun, whatever you want to say. And in this, I don't know if it's happened before, so don't like yell at me because I haven't read Iron Fist in a while. But they talk about how Kunlun is, or Kunlun, what is it?
I think it's Kunlun.
Kunlun?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
They talk about how Kunlun is not the only city that is hidden from the world.
Correct.
And because of what's going on, Iron Fist is now going to go and try and be like the bridge between all of them because they do have this gate built.
They originally brought that up, and I think it was Ed Brubaker's run, the Immortal Iron Fist, where because there was a tournament.
That's I think the one that I'm thinking of. Actually.
Yeah.
But so in this one, someone is killing the different dragons of power in each of different places, and that's the story.
Okay,
we're going to go into that and see kind of what happens. I thought it was actually really good. I mean, I don't read much Iron Fist. All I know is his origin, basically. And luckily, I did read the story related to this portal that they made, the character, like a couple of the other characters, but I actually enjoy it. I thought it was pretty solid. I think it's very worth reading. We've got another version of Taskmaster in this one. It is the much more serious I'm better than you Ultimate Fighter.
Not the goofball that's running around in King of Black right now.
Yeah. So Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon, number 1. If you like Iron Fist, it's worth checking out. All right, speaking of King in Black, we've got King in Black number 3. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a good issue. Shows Dylan's power. I like that.
Yep.
I do. I just like when Thor shows up. So
I'm glad that we did finally get Thor to show up.
And then got his ass kicked. Well, he
got his ass kicked, but I also like what we did with Tony Stark.
Oh, yeah.
That he is now just a
giant symbiotic celestial.
He's Tony Stark symbiote man.
Symbiote man.
Symbiote
man. So Thor shows up finally for everybody who's like, where the hell is Thor? I do like his
clearly it's going to be after this current Donald Blake stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Unless that was Donald Blake.
I thought his interactions with Dylan were cool, and then his interaction with Null, and then obviously he got stabbed, so that didn't work out so good.
I did like that they both showed that Null can be hurt.
Yes, it is possible.
It is possible, and it showed that lightning was a big influence, which means we'll probably get more of Storm again.
I would assume,
especially because they're doing a huge push with Storm right now.
Yeah,
and X-Men making her a bigger character. So.
Overall, I thought it was a great issue. It shows Dylan's power, but it shows that he's not unstoppable. It's not like Dylan can just show up and snap his fingers and Null dies. Yeah,
overwhelmed.
Yeah, it was a good issue. I'm liking the series so far. I know Ben was all worried when Null immediately showed up and destroyed all the heroes, and it's but that's now the story is about how they're going to come back.
Right.
And then obviously Venom's going to show back up. Eddie Brock's going to show back up. I'm really hoping. I think they've already confirmed they're bringing Flash Thompson back, back, not just in the symbiote.
Oh, did they?
I think they said that he's coming back because he's in. If you read Venom, which I don't think. I think it was a week we weren't reviewing. I think we didn't do the show.
Maybe I missed it then.
So in the inside the hive,
no, I remember that.
Flash Thompson shows up. Yeah, and I think however they're going to bring Eddie back, they're going to probably do something similar with Flash. Because I think Marvel said he's coming back, not just he shows up.
He's coming back in black.
It'd be cool to have Agent Venom running around again.
It would be.
Yeah,
it would be really cool. Plus,
character,
if Black Cat does prove to be very important, the fact that they have the anti-venom could also be a big factor of trying to I could see this event ending with not being able to remove symbiotes from some people but injecting them with the anti-venom.
I could see that,
do something along those lines. So but yeah, that is King in Black number 3. Next up we've got Maestro War and Pox, number 1. This is a continuation of the Maestro. You can tell that the Maestro must have sold well, so they started off the next one instead of just continuing the numbers. And this one is Maestro has taken over dystopia, and he's like, I'm going to take over the rest of the world.
Well, you might as well.
Cool. But
that's what I would do.
The thing I like about this is Maestro is not unbeatable like the Hulk. And there are moments where he gets a nuke or something goes off and he's under the rubble and he pulls himself out and he goes, no one says a thing. You can tell that there's
he's
frustration.
Just angry, got hit.
But it's interesting because of the fact that he's smart, he's strong, but he's not infinitely strong like you expect from the Hulk. And I haven't read too many Maestro stuff, so it could be something reused a bunch of times, but hey, it's new to me. I thought it was pretty good. I think it's going in an interesting direction. I think it's worth picking up if you enjoyed the Maestro series. It is very, very in line. You can tell this is just a continuation. So I think it is very worth it. I saw the flicker just then. I'm making sure that it's not a permanent thing. All right. Okay. Next up, we have X-Force number 16.
Where Namor shows up and goes, I'm going to kick everybody's ass.
Yes. But in a nicer way.
Semi-nicer, he does something.
When the mutants show up, he's often like,
I hate you guys so much. I hate
you are above water people, but
why can't you be watery mutants like
me? So I love the fact that they didn't fully think about the whole getting Wolverine out of the water.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Since he just sinks.
Yeah, but to me, this is another one of those things that I think was my issue with X-Men at the beginning, which is they keep coming up with plot points.
I don't get what this one is. This one's like a dirty bomb that's biological based.
But it's coming out of Krakoa, and they have to stop it.
Krakoa gave birth to a parasite or something.
Something like that. It's to me, this was the problem with the beginning of X-Men, which is like every issue was a new thing. Crabs. Yeah, kind of. The crabs have super herpes.
It's Crabcoa. All right. Nope. Okay. But it was...
I mean, it wasn't a bad issue. It's just, it's another one of those things where something's come up. They've sort of talked about it. And then past that.
And every single issue, we're also going in directions of they're going to turn Beast into a true villain.
It seems that way.
They're going to legitimately turn Beast into a true villain. He's
definitely leaning more into the ends justify the means kind of attitude.
Well, not even that anymore. Now it's more of just a, I can make a dirty bomb.
Yeah, she's like, don't think about weaponizing it until we know how to stop it or something like that. Yeah. The interaction between like Wolverine and Quentin and Forge going down in the water, not thinking about Wolverine sinking because of his adamantium.
And I love the way that it looks as well, because they're just swimming and he's just like, guys, I'm heavier than I thought.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later. And then he sees like Cthulhu.
Yes.
For like a brief moment. And then he's like, I saw a god. And they're like, all right there, buddy. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad issue. It's just, it was more of the, is this actually going to do anything again? Yeah. Is this going to pop up again?
Plus,
who knows?
this one just...
Yeah.
The problem with stuff like this is there's a lot more implications than just what it could do to the X-Men.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of the
idea.
Like, why? Where are you going with this?
Well, it's possible that could be the direction Hickman is heading.
I will say I do prefer this version of Namor.
It is a little cooler.
The sane but badass.
And
angry.
That could be the direction Hickman's going, which is the X-Men are going to have to realize that Krakoa isn't the paradise they thought they would.
Yep.
That they thought it was going to be, and that eventually they're going to have to come back to a normal, mankind kind of thing. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Because I know Hickman, even the writers who are writing the other things, Hickman had the whole like blueprint or map, or supposedly had the blueprint or map for what the whole run of X-Men was supposed to be, or this current generation of X-Men.
I'm going to say right now, if we get a scene in the future, since Krakoa is supposedly a mutant,
yes,
of Krakoa getting up and being like this giant fighting island,
that would be hilarious. It's
I
like Power
already
Rangers,
know what's gonna happen.
And then the
Avengers
Megazord
Mountain, will come to life.
Yeah.
And
oh my God! If that where they're going, that'd be hilarious. If like whoever's the editor of Marvel right now sat down with Jason Aaron and Hickman and was like, "Listen, you guys can do whatever you want to do with your books, but this is the end goal." Avengers Celestial Mountain has to fight Krakoa in a giant kaiju battle. Yeah, I'd read that book, honestly.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah.
But I swear, if that's where they
that would be hilarious. I want to call it now. Comicstorian prediction.
We're
calling it right now. Avengers Celestial Mountain will eventually fight with a giant bipedal Krakoa. Boom. Calling it now.
And then this current version of Tony Stark will somehow merge with Krakoa.
Yeah. And we're making this prediction on, so we have a timestamp.
Yep.
I'm making this prediction at 1:06 Mountain Time on January 21st, 2021. All right? If it happens,
you can quote us.
You can quote us.
Please do. Cut this clip. Post it everywhere.
I want this to be a thing. Oh, God, I hope that's a thing.
All right, guys. Well, that is the end of today's Comicstorian Weekly. I would say that we could talk about WandaVision, but what?
That's our thoughts. Not bad, but what?
What? So if you want to find more of Andy, he is on Instagram at @IamTheAndy. If you want to find more of me, I am on Twitch at Silu91, CYLOO91. We do record this live every Thursday at twitch.tv/Comicstorian at roughly 2 p.m. Eastern. And it does go up on our Patreon at patreon.com/Comicstorian, where $2 gets you access to this podcast, other podcasts, and early access content. Thank you guys so much for your support here, there, everywhere. We really appreciate it, guys. And we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.